Hello, leadership class of 2023. Hello, Weserv. Hello, everyone else. It's Greg Lira, loan officer at Academy Mortgage, and so I wanted to videotape so we could see the human interaction in the interview that I'm going to do with Mike Eberhardt. He's my branch manager and someone that I've looked at as a leader for the last 9 years or so that I've been at Academy, and so we're going to interview him today for our class project. So let me go ahead and get this thing started. Mike, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. You know, it's like the good old days in high school, final project time. We get to walk stage next week, so excited about learning a few new nuggets about leadership along the way. So thank you for letting me interview today. So I just want to start off with an easy question. What does leadership mean to you?
I think, to me, I think being a good leader is being a good listener. Because if you are a leader, people are going to be bringing problems to you. And typically you can get to the root of that problem by listening. And when you really figure out the root of the problem, whether it's a real obstacle or maybe fear-driven, it'll help you overcome that obstacle and thus solve the problem.
I bring a lot of problems to Mike all the time, so that's how I know he's a good leader. So in the beginning of our class, we read a book called Learning to Be a Leader Without a Title. You know, what does that phrase mean to you?
I think leading without a title, I think, would be leading by example. Not asking your team to do anything that you are not doing yourself or that you haven't done to get to where you are. I think that'll help you coach them, mentor them, and reach that goal, because if you've done it, you already know the stepping stones that it would take to get them to where they need to be. So by telling them to do something you haven't done, you don't know what kind of pitfalls they're going to have.
Awesome. So Mike, let me pivot to a different type of question. The last couple of years have been an interesting market here in the Valley. You know, we've gone from an amazing, very lucrative time to a little bit tougher of a time. So we've seen a lot of changes on the real estate side of things, on the lending side of things. How would you say you've managed to be a leader through these tough times in this market?
You're right. We've seen a lot of change the last 24, 36 months. I think we've seen the opposite ends of both spectrums. I think trying to keep everybody from reaching the peaks and the valleys, try to keep it more streamlined rather than the big, huge peak and valley. So don't get too high when it's high and don't get too low when it's low, if that makes sense. And trying to instill the real world. A lot of people have not been through a time like this before. So if you haven't, reach out and talk to people who have, so you have a better idea what to expect. But I think, how do I word this the right way? I think, can we rewind this? I think you're right. We've seen the opposite end of both spectrums. A couple years ago was probably the best market that I've ever been in, and recently it's been very challenging, which for people who haven't been in those types of markets, I think trying to keep them more streamlined. And what I mean by that, not getting too high when it's high or too low when it's low, because that's a recipe for disaster. I think remaining calm and surrounding yourself and asking questions to people who have been there before is helpful. And with every challenge, like when the market was phenomenal, and just now when it hasn't, the last few months it hasn't been really great, there's always opportunity. So I guess what I'm saying is, when there's a crisis, it's always creating an opportunity somewhere. So sometimes taking your eye off the ball and looking for the opportunity is what you need to do.
So those are awesome, great answers. Mike, let me ask you a question. What advice do you have for a young up-and-coming leader wanting to grow or to become a better leader or trying to lead more in their surroundings? What kind of advice, kind of basic tips do you have for them?
Well, that's kind of a tough question, because even though I'm your manager, Greg, I don't consider myself a real leader. I just do the best that I can every day to get better. And I think if I can encourage everybody that works with me and around me to do the same, as a team, we're pulling each other up. There's too many people out there right now that, you listen to the media or watch the news, there's too many people out there trying to pull us down, if that makes sense. I think creating an environment where you can instill helping each other and bringing everybody up to the next level makes you and would make you an incredibly good leader.